Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again, and I thought up of a really interesting idea for quote-unquote Valentine's week. I wanted to go ahead and rank, not necessarily, it's not really about the ranking. The ranking of these it's just kind of like a helpful guide of talking about each one and the good and bad things about all of them, which they're all pretty bad. And what I'm talking about is dating websites and apps. I thought that this would be a great topic for Valentine's week. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be reviewing, Twilight 3, it's too bad because I would really like to do a commentary, like Valentine's Day commentaries of Twilight movies, but I just can't really think of good, gimmicks. Like, the first time that I wanted to do one, I thought, maybe I'll have one, and I'll have, a baguette or something. I don't know, it was something weird. And then the second one, I thought, it'll be a really good idea if I do I get a heart box and then I eat all the different candies in the heart box. And both of them they did not work out. For some reason, when you do commentaries, they don't work out sometimes the way you think they will. And so you kind of have to adjust and improv, and you have to change everything, so I really just don't know what to do for a Valentine's Day commentary, unless I got somebody else to do it, which I don't really know how I would do that, so I'll just stick to doing a review and then just say it's a Valentine's Day review, and then after that I will be ranking online girlfriends, which I thought would be really hilarious, and I really can't wait to do that because you guys are going to love it. I mean, there's so many to talk about. They're all distinct characters, and it's going to be really fun. So the biggest problem with dating apps and websites is that they really don't care about you getting a date. It's really, the apps and websites, they really have nothing to do with dating. It's really all about them making money, getting certain things from you, trying to scheme and scam their way into you giving them money and thinking that you're gonna get a date, and then you don't get one, and you're like, oh no, what do I do next? And then they're like, oh, well, you have to give us more money now. And then you give them more money. And it's like, oh, what next? It still didn't work. Oh, well, maybe I should try this other website and give them money. Oh, that didn't work, so now I'm going to have to give them money again. I made a mistake. Oh, well, if you make a mistake on a dating website, you're going to have to pay them as well, because they have this feature called Rewind. So if you swiped past somebody who you realized, that was a mistake, I should not have done that, you have to pay these people. See, that's how you know that they don't care about you actually getting a date or getting a love interest, is because the fact that you have to pay them to undo a mistake like that, just a simple little, whoopsie, I accidentally, the screen froze, the internet thing was changing where, the Wi-Fi will turn off as you leave your home, and then it turns to LTE, and so the screen froze, and I accidentally pressed X. You shouldn't have to pay for that to fix that. So, there's just a lot of stuff like that really, it lets you know what these dating apps and sites are really about. So I have 15 here. A couple of them don't really count as dating sites, apps, but I count them as such. So the last place one, this one, it's pretty much broken. Like, I don't know if there's another one, like if there's an updated version, but Mingle 2. This app or website, it's complete trash. I used it on and off for a little while. I was never able to find anyone on there interesting except for one person who I will tell you guys about, and you guys will go, So the website, I can't really remember any distinctive qualities about it that made it sort of better than other websites, other than the fact that at least you can message for free. But then you message and it turns out everyone on there is a scam. And so I gotta say, like, it is the most scam-filled website I have encountered. You know, everyone pretty much on there is a fake and is a scammer, fraudster. You know, there's really nobody, no one genuine on that website. And so part of the issue with these apps and sites is the crop of people that you come across. You know, that actually comes into the rankings here of like what app or website is better, because if you go on Mingle 2, you know that you're going to get scams and fakes. Well, the site has been around for a long time. I mean, it has been around ever since like 2012. I can't remember. Like, it has been around for a long time. For some reason, I don't know how they keep paying the bills, because it's a complete piece of trash. Like, seriously, like, if I was able to find someone on there memorable, I would have remembered, because I have a great memory, you know. Well, the only person that I think I found on there is, if you guys remember Letitia Wright from the Black Panther movies, aka Shuri, the sister. I believe that I found her on there, and I believe it was from the time when she was not famous yet, and it was from like 2014, 2015, like, I don't know, like, it was really funny because the picture looked exactly like her, and then I looked up and it said that she was from the same place that the real actress was from, and it hadn't been active for a long time, but I still like to message the profile hoping that maybe an email will pop up and then she'll become active again, but it never happened. This was like 2019 or 2018, late 2018, but it was really funny discovering that, because the profile had been inactive, and so, you know, you could theorize that she was on there and she was like, you know, this site's so bad, I'm not going to be on here anymore. Like, even if, you know, I'm desperate. So, Mingle 2 is so bad that Shuri from Black Panther doesn't want to have anything to do with it. And keep in mind, I don't know if that truly was her or not, but I have a strong suspicion that it was. So number 14, I really wish that I could put this last. In fact, you know, I really do think that it is the worst. Like, I think, you know, there's nothing harmless about Mingle 2 as long as you don't fall for these scams and schemes. But there is something harmful about Facebook dating. Now, at the start, this seemed like it could be a great service, because the crop of people on here, it really felt like they were people who don't really typically use dating services and apps, which they are the types of people who you want to come across, because they're the people who, you know, they don't want to play the game and be on these places long. You know, they want to leave as soon as possible and just get a relationship. But unfortunately, Facebook dating ended up being the worst due to the people on there. Just from memory, there was one person, there were a lot of people who, and this is true for a lot of these apps and sites where they say hello, how are you, and then they never respond again. Well, this specific place had people who were much worse. And there was this one girl, she seemed okay, and she messaged back after like 6 months, and then after like 8 months she messaged back again, and then she never messaged again after that. And it's like, I understand people being busy, but just, if you're that busy, you probably shouldn't even be on a dating app or website, because the whole point is to get off of it and to do it in real life with people eventually. That's the whole point, that's the whole goal. But if you're so busy and you're so focused on yourself that you can't even respond back in a timely manner, then you shouldn't even be on there. And as well, I think, spoiler alert, I wouldn't really count them as, supposed exes, but I really think that two of the worst people that I have ever come across have been on Facebook dating. And I've already told you guys in the top 10 worst moments of 2022, the glue gun girl. Well, there was another person on there who chatted for like a month or two, and then all of a sudden completely disappeared and blocked, and then didn't even say why or anything, and then wouldn't even say anything on other profiles, which I created a bunch of other emergency Facebook profiles because there was this game on Facebook. If you guys don't know, there was this game called Marvel's Avengers Alliance. And it was this really cool game where it was basically like a strategy game, but with Marvel characters. And one of the things that you had to do was you had to get health items from your home base every day. And if you had friends, then you could go to their home bases and get health items from their bases every day. And so I created a bunch of fake profiles so that I could get to their home bases and steal their crap, and then they could steal mine as well. And then we'd help each other out a couple of times with Collins too. That was another thing where, I could summon that character to come in, attack, and then leave. And as long as I leveled him up a lot, it would help more. So that's why I created these fake profiles. And so I would also go on there and, I'd be like, hey, WTF to people who did things like this. And, well, this person, they didn't even have the common courtesy to say anything. Just say like, blah, 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 nothing. And then another block. And just over and over and over again. And, sorry, but just, that's not good. Like, no matter what, like, that's just awful behavior. That's not what an adult should be acting like in 2023. And so, you have these two people who are so awful on Facebook dating that honestly, they kind of make you never want to do anything online again. Because you never want to come across somebody as evil as them again. But that's not the worst part of Facebook dating. The worst part is the fact that Facebook, they purposefully remove matches from your messaging system. So let's say that you match with someone and you talk to them for like 6 months on there, and then, well, all of a sudden Facebook could just decide to get rid of them. Yeah, that's right. Like, you have a function where, they can block you if they don't like you or anything, or unmatch you, anything they want. But Facebook dating in particular, they like to remove people from your messaging system. And the reason why I know this is because Glue Gun Girl, she had disappeared originally off of the messages, and I had to go all the way to her Instagram and find her. And it turned out that Facebook had removed her, and she was like, WTF, like, I did not want to do that at all. So it just shows, like, and then after Glue Gun Girl, I told you guys about the trucker girl. Well, after 3 months of talking to her, she disappeared off of Facebook dating. And that's not the worst part. The worst part was the fact that I had already asked for this trucker's other profile, the profile information, so I could add her. But what happened was she did not want to do that until we met in person to verify that I was real, which, I don't know, like, it would have been nice to at least, like, do another form of verification before you would meet with someone in person, but I was not able to get any sort of information. So after she disappeared, she actually disappeared. And so, I can't find her and she can't find me because of Facebook dating. And it's like they do it on purpose. And then, they would probably say to this, he's mistaken, they all blocked him. And it's like, no, I'm sorry, but I know what the reality is. The reality is that Facebook dating removes matches from the messaging system. And the fact that they do this and that this is tolerated is disgusting, because I'm telling you guys, that is an evil, evil, evil thing to do, to make somebody think that somebody that they like talking to removed them, when in reality it was the app itself that removed them. And another weird thing that happened is they did this thing where, like, you have to verify that you're real or something for certain profiles. Well, for some reason, for my profile, all of a sudden it just stopped being available, so now I can't use it at all. And it happened another time too with the whole profile deletion thing, which I also verified because I found that person on Snapchat, and then on the Snapchat they said, once again, WTF, I did not want to unmatch you. So bad people, really, really bad, evil, awful people like Glue Gun Girl and the other person who I'm not going to say her name, coupled with Facebook actually deleting your matches. That's just not good. That's not a good look, Facebook. So number 13 would be Facebook groups. Facebook groups, they're really hard to... Ew, gross. One of the apps from later on in the list just emailed me and told me something I already know. Or already notified me about that earlier, but they emailed me. God, these apps suck. These websites are fucking awful. I mean, God, Valentine's Day is already a terrible holiday, but dating apps and websites are just the worst thing about Valentine's Day. Absolutely terrible. But Facebook groups, I've been a part of a couple, and I'll tell you guys, there's 3 reasons why people use Facebook groups for dating. Number 1, and this has happened on I think like 20 plus occasions over the course of like years and years and years. Number one, you're dating a foreign girl on Facebook and she wants to make you jealous. So she'll just go on these groups and get attention, and then she'll show you their picture, video chatting them, and be like, hey, look at me. You're not paying enough attention to me. Oh no. That's the first type of person who's in this group. The second type is somebody who's just looking for attention because they're older and they don't have any self-confidence, so they're just looking for any like gratification from like, ooh, look, that young guy messaged me. And so I will tell you guys about one of them, which sparked me watching the worst movie of all time, or one of the top 5 worst movies of all time. And it happened in a horror singles group. And I thought it was hilarious because this person, she had been posting pictures on this group for a while. And she just posts these pictures, and you could tell she wanted attention. And she started chatting and leading people on, including me. And so she did that for a month. And then when I started to take things further, she said, oh, well, I've been talking to somebody else for a while now. And it's like, well, wait a second. If you're involved with somebody else, then why are you still in a singles group on Facebook? Like, it's fine if, like, you put a notification on the group, hey, I'm talking to somebody now, even though I'm in this group, I'm only here for friends. Like, that would be fine. But the fact that she purposefully was, like, flirting with people, and I mean directly flirting, leading people on, while she was involved with somebody for months, just like Glue Gun Girl type of thing, that's really, really bad. And so I got really pissed off. I completely told her off. I blasted the shit out of this fucking British ginger snaps, middle-aged biatch. I fucking roasted her and just completely destroyed her to the point of where she was upset. And so she went to the one of the admins of the group. And this is another reason why Facebook groups are terrible, is because the admins always abuse their power. They never do their job correctly. I just had to leave a Goosebumps Facebook group because the admins on there, they don't do their jobs, and they don't safeguard against spam posting and all this BS posting that has nothing to do with Goosebumps. And so I had to leave. And it's like the biggest Goosebumps group on Facebook. And it's like, I don't care. Like, the admins, they don't do their job. So, whatever. Well, this particular admin, he was an ex-prison guard. And you could tell that he was like a white knight, faggoty ass fucking tough guy wannabe, because in his profile picture he had it to where like he was all in the shadows, and you couldn't even really see his face, and he really thought something of himself. And so he was like, ooh, I'm gonna have to kick you out of the group because you're being bad, man. And, he totally like white knighted for this CUNT middle-aged biatch, and so he kicked me out, and then he said all this stuff. Like, it was really hilarious, like the fact that it was so predictable. Like, and that's another problem with these dating apps and sites, is that whenever a woman does something wrong, the man will still be blamed, typically. And this has happened time and time again. And so a lot of the times, like, I won't even report anything that happens with these people on these sites or off the sites and apps, because I know that, well, like, these apps and sites are so biased that they'll just try to blame me. And so this is what happened. And it's funny because other people on the site were infuriated that she was not single and that she was still going on there advertising herself. And so what I did was I joined the group with another profile, and I outed her publicly, and I embarrassed her so much that she left the group. Because the reason why it was such bullshit was because, number one, in the group, the rules said that if you do something bad to somebody in the group, then you should be kicked out. Well, I never did anything. I never told her off in the group. I told her off privately in her private messages, and then I blocked her myself. And so the fact that after I blocked her, she still told on me and tattled, it just showed that she was mad because she was on this fucking group for attention. An attention-seeking, middle-aged, probably 50 Shades of Grey fan. And so she was mad. She was, really like, how dare he? And so, yeah, that was an awful group. And so that's just one example. And then the third type of person that you find on these Facebook groups are just people who want to hang out. And by hang out, I mean, I am on an Irish Facebook group. They're supposed to be a supposed dating group, but literally all they do is just post memes, and then, like, once in a while you get a person and they're really pretty much like mediocre looking, and they post a picture of themselves and they're like, hey, I'm blank from this place, and then people say hi, and that's it. It's just so pathetic. It's like this group that's supposed to be like a dating service for, like, people who like Irish people. It's like, it's just totally just a middle-aged or like older people boomer hangout group. It's so, there's all these, like, it's really bad. It's really cringeworthy. Like, it's just, like, I used to be a part, well, I still am a part, the group just doesn't post at all anymore. I used to be a part and active in the Hell on Wheels Facebook group, and it was just all these middle-aged and older people, and it feels like all those people just drifted over to the Irish dating group. But the point is, overall, these groups are terrible because people are not in there to do what they're supposed to do. Like, they're not in there to actually get a relationship or anything, so it's pointless to go in these groups. You're not going to achieve anything in these fucking groups. So number 12 is sites with a pay-to-message system. So you go on a website, let's do a point of view. You go on a website, you sign up. You say, well, you don't say that. You say, I am blah, 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 blah. I am searching for blah, 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 blah. I am from blah, blah, blah. And you sign up, and then you look, and you say, oh, wow, that person looks really nice. You click on their profile, and then you click message. Excuse me. You will have to pay $5.99 a month if you want to message this person. If you want to do this with this person, you will have to pay $10.99 a month for this membership subscription. And then do you know what I do? I click off the website and I forget that it exists. Just for eternity, forever. They are that useless. And so, like, pay to message sites, they're completely and utterly useless. Why in the hell would I sign up for a website where I have to pay to message people? Or just even, there are some websites where you have to pay to look at their pictures. Like, they have extra pictures on the website. You have to pay to look at those. I mean, what a fucking disaster that is. So, and it's just not worth it. Like, there's so many other websites where you can just message people for free. And it's like, why wouldn't I want to use the websites where you can do all this stuff for free? Ugh. Number 11. Number 11 is Plenty of Fish. This is a very popular website for some reason. I really can't see why. You know, one of the most irritating things about this bargain bin mediocre website is that every time I go on there to try to log in, every 6 months to just check how trash it is and just see, like, God, this place is dead. Like, I've gotten a couple of views, I've gotten one like from some random person, and it's like been 12 months, aka a year. But every time I try to log in, I am forced to get a code on my phone to log in. You know, like a verification code, every single time I log in. And another irritating thing is, if you don't, like, scroll the right way on the site for some reason, it makes it so that you can't even, like, view the website. And I know that sounds odd, but it's made me click out of the website on multiple occasions because I didn't scroll the right way when I logged in, and it's like, what the fuck is this shit? So I'm gonna have to move a little faster because it's already 30 minutes, which I could probably spend hours talking about these apps and how fucking useless and terrible they are. But the one person that I found that's memorable from this site, well, there are two people. There was this one person, she looked a lot like Chloe from Smallville, and I keep on seeing her on all these different sites and apps, and she's just never going to find anyone, so, because she won't ever engage, you know, so she's just going to be on these fucking apps and sites forever, and, which, you know, who cares? But there was one person who, I had gone to school with her, and she had homeschooled after the 8th grade, and I had never even figured out that she homeschooled, and so it was pretty interesting talking to her, but she ended up being really unresponsive, so, yeah, just moved on from that, and that was pretty disappointing, but the website is just so bland. Like, once again, there's nothing that sets it apart from other websites. Number 10 is Badoo. Now, you guys saw me making fun of this website on YouTube when I made these videos, trolling people on these stupid camera chat things that are fucking terrible. So, number one, you have a typical dating website template where, you know, you swipe people left and right, you look at their stupid little profiles that don't mean jack shit to people because nobody reads, you know, they don't have the mental capabilities of reading, which is true. Like, I don't even want to get into all the examples that I have because it's insane. But on one hand, you have that, so that's useless. That's, and it's the typical people that you see on these apps, which it's even worse with Badoo. Because with Badoo, for some reason, somehow, like, people from far, far away will cycle to you before the people who are right near you. So, like, if you're looking for people who are close to you, you're probably not going to find them on this app. You're just going to find people who are from Thailand and Indonesia, which, if that's what you're looking for, props to you, but not me. When I go on Badoo, anyways, like, Badoo, and it's a stupid name, too. I mean, who the hell came up with Badoo? And so apparently this app, it connects to other dating apps, because there's this whole live chat function where a girl or a guy can go live, and then a bunch of people can go into her chat and chat with her, and it's supposed to be like this interactive thing, but it ends up coming across as like a really, really bad idea. I mean, I have enough problems trying to talk to these people, or anyone in general, in terms of like dating. And so they make it even worse, because you have to talk to people while you have 100 other guys who are also trying to talk to the same person, and it's like you're trying to compete for their attention, like they're fucking hookers. And it's like, these are not hookers. Like, I'm not going to pay you. And so they had this other stupid thing on there that I saw, where the whole goal of this streaming, it should be like a fun way to like get to know people and see like, oh wow, this person is real. They're video chatting. They're on this live cam. But it ends up being like this really deranged game where, guys who think that they're going to get somewhere, they spend a lot of money to buy these stupid tokens. And then you saw that other thing, that video that I made where that girl was saying, spin the wheel, spin the wheel. Why was she saying spin the wheel? Because when you spin the wheel, it gives them a certain amount of tokens. And then the more tokens they get, the more popular a streamer they are. And so, like, they're basically telling you, pay me, pay me, pay me, because I want to get these fake tokens so that I can be more popular on this app that's supposed to be for dating. And so you saw the types of people who are on there, just a complete disaster. It's too bad, too, because a lot of them just disappear, too, and there's no way to message people off of the video chat rooms on Badoo specifically. So, like, there was this one person, and she completely disappeared now. And it's like, oh, that's unfortunate, because if I was able to just message privately and not have to compete with like 100 other people who are trying to talk to you, then, things could have turned out a lot differently. So, sorry, but just, I'm not comfortable with like competing to talk to somebody to get to know them on this dating website thing. And then number 9 is OkCupid, which I'll say that, on Badoo, I met a couple of interesting, unique people that I'll never forget. That there was this one girl who I didn't showcase her on my trolling video. She was another one who was, already involved with someone, which is like, why are you on here then? Oh, because you want attention. And she looked exactly like the blonde Columbine shooter. Like, it was really hilarious. Like this, it's like, You could literally like take a picture of her and then put hashtag British girls. Like, like she looked exactly like this Columbine shooter, and she's just sitting there, and like all these guys are coming in, and they're thinking like, "Ooh, she looks interesting. I'd like to get to know her." And she's like, "I'm already talking to someone. I'm already talking to someone," and she has to keep saying that over and over and over again because it's like people don't understand why you're on this dating service when you're involved with someone, and so. Really, really, ugh. And there are all these people too, and they're just like, I'm just on here to stream. I'm just on here to stream. And it's like, wow, you're a really shitty person that you're on these dating services to get attention. You're not even on here to actually do what the app says that you're here to do. There's also lots of people who are like married and they have a boyfriend and they go on there because to air out their dirty laundry like you saw just all these really, really weird people and weird situations that like just made you think, why are you in this situation? Like there's that one girl, and she you guys saw her in the Mask video where she was making fun of that Indian guy. And the reason why, by the way, I thought of doing that is because I was pissed off at her making fun of that Indian guy for no reason whatsoever other than the fact that she's just a fucking bitch. And so I went on there and I scared the shit out of her, and she learned her lesson. But she is on there, if you guys believe it or not, she is on there because she thinks that there is going to be a man who is going to pay for her to live with him and just be friends. She thinks that like, oh, there's going to be a random guy on here. He's going to come and meet me on here, and he is going to buy me a place to live with him, and I'm just going to be like a roommate, and we're not going to have it. And it's like, yeah, you're really, really delusional. And so lots of delusional, awful people. And so that's why Badoo ranks so low, is because of the terrible people on there. And OkCupid isn't much better. I mean, I really can't think of a single person from OkCupid who is memorable. Okay. Like, nobody. I've been on there for a while. Originally, I was on there, and then they tried to ban me for life. But then they forgot about that because that was bullshit, and it was a biased... it was another thing where I got pissed off, and I just told somebody off. And then they pretended like I was a mean person or something. And it's like, this is just real life. Like, if you do something bad to someone and you get told off, like, that's just how it goes. Like, you're not going to protect people from having that happen because you're, going to ban people, from an app or a website. So, but the reason why this website is so low is because they delve a lot into politics, and it's really cringeworthy. Like, they have this whole thing where you can only see people who are pro-vax, and you can only see people who are pro-women's choice, and it's like, this is not what dating is about. Like, this is not what dating is about at all. So I really don't like the political bullshit on this website and their advertising, and they are very, very SJW, to say the least. And just nobody really memorable at all. Like, seriously. Oh, okay. And there was one from this website who, oh my god. Okay, so there was this girl from Indonesia, of course, and her summary said, she had all these requirements for, if you want to talk to her, you have to not flirt with her in the first conversation that you have, and you have to do this and that and this and that. Well, one of her requirements was that you had to message her within 2 weeks of matching with her. Well, I messaged her the day that we matched, and she did not respond to me for 10 days, which is almost, 2 full weeks. And I messaged her and I was like, bitch, you don't even follow your own rules. And it's like, it's a joke. It's like, rules for thee, not for me. That is the trend in the female-male dynamic of 2023, is that men have to follow these strict rules, and women don't really have to do anything because they're all innocent victims, and they're all like still not mature enough to comprehend. Like, I've heard it all. I've heard all the bullshit excuses, the bullshit deflection tactics that they try to use to excuse their bad behavior, and it just seems like men are put under the microscope in terms of, like, you have to follow these certain rules. And one of the rules that this person sets up, she doesn't even follow it. She doesn't follow it at all. Well, then after I messaged her that, she messaged back and she was like, oops, sorry, I was really, really busy. Wink, wink. And then we messaged for the day, and then all of a sudden stops responding again. And this time, a whole month goes by. No message back at all. And it's like, I'm so bewildered by this type of bullshit. This type of behavior that you come across on these websites. And so, once again, she doesn't even follow her own rules. I mean, she has this strict rule of, like, you're supposed to talk to me. And she doesn't even follow her own rules. So, number 8 is Tinder. Tinder is probably the biggest joke of dating website history. I mean, the crop of people that you find on Tinder is probably the worst out of all of these apps and sites. Just absolute, like, shallow garbage women who have no personality or any sort of intellect or any sort of, like, character. They're just all these blow-up dolls in bikinis who are like, hey, I'm here for fun, not for relationship, or whatever the fuck their stupid ass profiles say. But the reason why this app irritates me is because there is a false impression that you get when you go on there that, like, ooh, this app is really easy to use because you just swipe right and left. But really, it's really, really bad. I mean, this is a really, really bad app. And I have never found a decent person off of this app whatsoever. And I have used it since 2016. Never in all those years have I found a person that I could call decent. And there is one specific person who I was also thinking of doing a video where I ranked disappointments, because I didn't want to make this video too much about the people on these apps. I just wanted to make it about the apps and using the apps and such and such. So I'll probably reserve those videos for talking about this specific person. But she's another one where, you see her over and over and over again. She has been single forever, because she has these quote-unquote standards that are unreachable. And so And her profile summary, it just keeps on changing over and over and over again. It's fucking pathetic. And that's another thing about Tinder, is that nobody reads the profiles, because, like, I had this hilarious thing, and you guys aren't going to believe this too. I used to have on my Tinder profile no SJWs at the bottom of my profile. And you guys want to know the funniest part? Every month I would get a new match, and it was an SJW. And the reason why I got matches was because I started doing this strategy just to see, like, who is active on here. And I would just swipe every single person on the app and see who was a match. And so every single month, though, I got SJWs liking me back on Tinder. And it's like, this is fucking hilarious, because I have on my profile no SJWs. And the funniest part was that none of them were aware. Like, I could tell none of them had actually read my profile. None of them were probably capable of reading my profile. And so that they're just, like, totally oblivious because they're so fucking retarded. And so that was pretty bad. There were a couple of memorable matches, though. There was this one, and Tinder people they're so bad that I made a game out of swiping on them in high school, where we would just sit at the lunch table and swipe through people on Tinder, because there were so many people who were just so laughably stupid on there. Like, there was this one girl, and she wore underwear all over her face, and her summary says, I wish somebody would kidnap me. And it's like, oh, God. And there was this hilarious part where, and this is another thing that happens too on Tinder, which is really, like, gross, is, okay, I'm going to have to make a part 2 to this video. Sorry, guys. You know what? I'm canceling Twilight. I am not reviewing a Twilight movie this year. I will resume doing that next year. Instead, I will be doing Ranking Dating Apps Part 2. So, but I will still also be doing the Disappointments video as well. So what happened was, I got a match on the Tinder. And I looked in the messages, and it was a guy with a wig on and a kitty cat face. And no, it was not a transgender woman. It was like a guy with a kitty cat face painted and a wig on. And he said, "Hey." It just, everyone was laughing, like, just, it was like one of the funniest things that ever happened, because it was just so typical of something like this to happen on Tinder. It was so typical, like, oh my God, this is just so embarrassingly bad. Another thing that happened was really weird, because it happened twice. And so, like, guys, like, this is another problem with Tinder, is that you can't really decipher what these bitches are thinking, because there's this new strategy that women use in dating, and it's called telepathic dating. And what they do is, you talk to them and then they don't talk to you, and you're supposed to decipher what they think. And so there was this one girl, and she aided for my history class in 10th grade, and then I think she graduated, and or it might have been 11th grade, and she graduated that year, and she super liked me on Tinder. And then I said, "Hey, how's it going?" And then after that, I never got a response, and I messaged again, never got a response. So then I unmatched her. And then later on, I somehow matched with her again. And again, never got a response. And it's like, how am I supposed to figure this out? Like, this is not how life works. This is not how a relationship works. It's not a whatever this is. So that was really frustrating too, by the way, because like I was genuinely excited. I thought like, wow, I get this is a pretty good match, and it happened within like the first 3 months of being on there. So that's how disappointing it was that it was like a huge waste of time. So, the common thread, though, with Tinder specifically is that they're just bad people on here. They're very shallow, and so, they swipe left on everyone. And the people who they swipe right on, they're just people who use them, and then the cycle continues over and over and over again. So I would say, like, all of these apps that I've talked about so far, they're all Fs. Like, that's the grades that they would get. They're all F minuses. None of these apps are even worth giving, like, even a D or a C. None of them. Because I can't think of, like, a single positive outcome from any of these places at all. So anyways, that is part 1 of ranking dating apps and websites. I know that you guys probably can empathize with a lot of these horror stories, which I could probably list off thousands, because they are that bad. They're that useless. They're that terrible. So anyways, please like this video, comment, and tell me if you actually like any of the apps or websites that I've named so far. And then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see part 2. So goodbye, everybody. See you soon.